Hello, Abnormal Investigations. Got your encounter for the day. You're going to have one encounter today because we are boots on the ground tonight, 8:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. We've had rain today, so hopefully these storms is going to cause this stuff to act up tonight. Uh, Got a really unique story, guys. A guy sent it in, said he was a park ranger during the Mount St. Helens eruption, and it's a pretty good one. I think you're going to enjoy it. And I look forward to your all's comments at the end. It's going to be pretty good. I'll never forget the day Mount St. Helens erupted. I was a young ranger at the time working in the beautiful forest surrounding the mountain. It was May 18, 1980, and the volcano had been rumbling for weeks. We knew something big was coming, but we had no idea just how big. As I was patrolling the forest, I heard a loud rumble, and I felt the ground shake beneath my feet. I looked up to see a massive ash cloud boiling out of the mountain. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before, a towering column of gray and black ash shooting high into the sky. I knew I had to get out of there fast. I jumped in my truck and started driving away from the mountain as fast as I could. The ash was falling all around me, making it hard to see and to breathe. It was like driving through blinding snowstorm, but the flakes were hot and gritty. I had to roll up my windows to be able to breathe. As I drove, I could hear the roar of the volcano getting louder and louder. It sounded like a never-ending freight train. I knew it had to keep moving, but it was hard to see where it was going. Finally, I made it to the safety, but the experience stayed with me forever. It was a reminder of how powerful nature and the importance of respecting the nature world. Even now, when I think back on that day, I'm in awe at the fury and the beauty and the power of that volcano. It was a tough job, but we were determined to keep everyone safe. We set up roadblocks and barriers to keep people at a distance, but some folks were determined to get closer. We had to chase down a few thrill seekers who tried to sneak past us, dodging the ash and the rocks along the way. One guy even tried to drive his car right up to the edge of the blast zone. We had to physically block him in with our trucks and take him into custody to prevent him from getting too close. It was a tense moment, but we managed to keep him safe without any major incidents. Despite the challenges, it was an incredible experience watching the eruption from a safe distance. As inspiring, the ash could be towering above us, and the roar of the volcano was deafening. We felt the heat on our skin, even from miles away. When it was all over, we were exhausted but exhilarated. We had done our job, and we had witnessed something truly historic. It was a day I'll never forget, and left me with a deep respect for the power of nature. That's when things got interesting. As the ash cloud began to settle, we noticed a strange glow emanating from the mountain. At first, we thought it was just the sun reflecting off the ash. But as the glow grew brighter, we realized that something much more unusual. Suddenly, a massive pyroclastic flow came racing down the mountain, a very fiery cloud of hot ash, gas, and rock that threatened to engulf everything in its path. We had to act fast, evacuating everyone in the area and getting to safety ourselves. It was a heart-pumping, adrenaline-filled scramble, but we managed to get out of harm's way just in time. The flow roared past us, a blistering wave of heat and destruction that left a trail of devastation in its wake. When it was all over, we emerged from our shelter, blinking in the bright light of day to survey the aftermath. The landscape was transformed with ash and debris covering everything. It was surreal, otherworldly scene, like everything it was gone, nothing I'd ever seen before. As we dealt with the injured animals, we realized that the intense heat and ash from the flow had caused severe burns and respiratory distress. The bears were disoriented in pain, which explained their unusual behavior. We worked with wildlife experts and veterinarians to provide medical care and alleviate their suffering. It was a heart-wrenching task, but we knew it had to be done, and it was essential to help these animals recover from the trauma they had endured. The National Guard and local authorities helped us transport the injured bears to a special facility for treatment and rehabilitation. It was a massive effort, but we were determined to give these amazing creatures a second chance at life. I couldn't believe my eyes. I had always been skeptical of Sasquatch stories, but here I was, face to face with creatures that defied explanation. They were massive, at least 8 feet tall, covered in dark brown hair that seemed to be singed and charcoaled in places. As I watched, they moved slowly and laboriously through the ash-covered landscape, their eyes fixed on the ground. They seemed to be searching for something, but I had no idea what. I knew I had to get closer to look, but I also was aware of the potential danger. I slowly moved forward, trying not to make any sudden movements that might spook them. As I got closer, I saw that they were indeed humanoid in shape, with broad shoulders and muscular arms. But their faces were unlike anything I'd ever seen before, flat and wide, with a prominent brow ridge and a nose that seemed to be flatter than usual. I was so caught up in the observation that I forgot about the danger until one of them suddenly turned and looked straight at me. Our eyes locked, and I felt a jolt of fear run through my body. I was shocked and horrified by what I saw. The wounded creatures were being shot on sight, without any attempt to provide medical care or assistance, and the others, the ones that seemed to be unharmed, were being rounded up and taken away in military vehicles. This was a large military presence. I was approached by a soldier who handed me a piece of paper to sign. It was a non-disclosure form stating that I had not seen anything unusual and that I would not speak about the incident to anyone. I was numb, and I was in shock, but I knew that I had to sign it. I had no choice. But as I signed my name, I felt a sense of unease and guilt. I knew that I had witnessed something incredible and potentially historic, and I was being forced to keep it a secret. As I watched the military vehicles drive away, I couldn't help but wonder what could happen if the creatures could be studied and cared for, or would they be subjected to further harm and experimentation. I knew that I would never forget what I had seen, and I couldn't shake the feeling that my life had been forever changed by this encounter. I was haunted by the memory of those creatures and the fate they suffered. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than what I had witnessed. Months later, I received a cryptic message from an unknown sender. It was a single sentence. It said, "The underground city of Azura still holds secrets." I was intrigued and felt compelled to investigate further. I began to research any mentions of Azura, but found nothing concrete. I still wonder about all that, and maybe your viewers will know something about this that can help me out, Mike. Does anybody know about the city of Azura, an underground city? That's the first I've ever heard of it. That is a very unique encounter. I've heard stories of Mount St. Helens. I'm not going to give my opinion right now, as I want to hear your all's opinions, because I'm sure a lot of you know. So I'm going to let you guys put your opinions, and I'll answer, guys, as I see them. I thought this was a really interesting encounter, and I'm very thankful that he sent it in. And don't forget, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. Smash that like button, and we'll see you tonight on the live.